Hello, everybody. I'm Louise Eddington, the Cosmic Owl with Cosmic Owl Astrology, and here is your Monday astrology forecast for Monday, the 8th of June. And I'm recording this at 7:30 p.m. Mountain, so that's Salt Lake City time. And so I'm going to look ahead. So right now, okay, I'm going to share my screen. Got so many windows open. I need to close some. Anyway, here you go. Right, this is where we are right now on June the 7th. So I'm going to look ahead into tomorrow. We have the moon in Capricorn over here. All right. And the moon tonight is going to conjunct Pluto, is going to square Eris, of course, as well at this first. So this is chaos and discord. And Pluto is the great excavator or shit disturber. He reveals the hidden excrement, if you like. Jupiter is expanding all of this energy, and then Pallas Athena is thank goodness she's in there, I think, right now, okay, because she's kind of giving us a bit of a plan, a bit of a strategy to in how we're going to overcome these patriarchal systems that we are ruled by, and we can see them collapsing before our very eyes. So, but this, whenever the moon hits Pluto and all of this square, so let me take it forward. All right. So this is overnight for us in the US. So, but and approaches Pluto early in the morning Utah time. This might give a bit of a moody sleep. Things are very stormy. We literally have Cristobal battering the Gulf Coast in the US, and we've had a weekend of horrendous storms, really, and so much rain bucketing down. And it's felt that kind of moody, stormy. Before the moon hits all of this, incidentally, it will make a brief aspect to Mars in Pisces, which is partly contributing towards the storms, as is Ceres. This little grouping here is really kind of churning the stormy kind of weather up, and also a great deal of grief and a great deal of emotion, okay, in Pisces. But by tomorrow morning, the moon will move into the moon will spend most of the day actually going over this lot tomorrow. So I want to look at the bigger aspects though. So Venus is retrograde till the 25th and hits the 10-degree mark and will aspect by square Ceres over here. Now, I did a Ceres presentation for EA Zoom meetings, and I'm going to write an article. I must get myself settled to that because I've seen more things I want to talk about as well. There's a very intimate cycle going on between Pluto, Venus, and Ceres. That's going to kind of bring them all together on December the 7th, 2024. So I'm thinking that because all this is building up, and there's lots of other tie-ins, Ceres is going to turn retrograde soon, square to what was called the Venus star point, when Venus and the Sun met at 13 degrees of Gemini. Ceres will turn retrograde at 12 degrees of Pisces, so that's in a square too. So we've got this little these are mutable signs, dance between Venus and Ceres. And if we look at the mythology, Ceres was the great mother whose daughter Persephone was taken into the underworld by Pluto and ate the pomegranate seeds. Now, it's a very similar story in some ways to Eve eating the apple. And so Venus could be seen to be another face or representation of Persephone. And so we could have this mother-daughter Pluto relationship dancing over the next few years, and I am going to talk about that quite a lot when I get round to this article. But all that to say that I think these squares are significant. I think this dance between Venus and Ceres is bringing a lot of grief and loss. If the story was that, she Demeter stopped the harvest because she was grieving her daughter so much. And so this square is going to kind of bring up a lot of feelings around, what have we done? I keep kind of saying we're coming to this stuff. And it's more in a way of what have we done, but now how can we now change it? This square brings tension, brings action. It's really how can we move forward to bring healing now, and getting ideas, which is very Gemini, and Venus reflecting on our values. We can see it, globally. Everything's shifting. More and more people are waking up to kind of what change is needed, and it's quite astounding, even though it seems very turbulent and quite challenging at times. If we look for what the good things that are coming up underneath, it's quite astounding. Okay, anyway, I think this Venus Ceres square that's exact tomorrow at 8:50 a.m. So we're feeling it now this Sunday night, and we'll be feeling it, all tomorrow. And this dance is going on for a while because, as I said, Ceres will station retrograde, square to the star point. Venus will then come forward and square Ceres again. So the two are in this dance together for a little while, and then Venus will move on and then move towards the opposition. But it's very it's kind of fascinating to me, this dance. And incidentally, Ceres will also station retrograde and cover the same exact degrees that Mercury went retrograde at back in February and March. So, and Mercury is the bridge builder. He's the psychopomp between the underworld and the upper world. So Mercury is involved in this dance between Pluto and Ceres as well. And Pluto and Ceres are connected in that when Eris was discovered and dwarf planets became a classification, Pluto was demoted and Ceres was promoted. So they're kind of on this par at the moment, and they were brought to par. So interesting balancing and harmonies coming in then, with Mercury being the psychopomp in the middle that's bridging the two worlds, the Ceres, the natural cycles of the earth, and Pluto, the underworld, and Venus, or Persephone, living between the two. Interesting, huh? More to come on that. But anyway, I think this square is really going to bring us, it's going to reveal to us, I think, some of the healing that's coming. But it's also, going to make us sad that we kind of didn't do anything before. But that's okay, because we start where we are. Then later in the day, all right, well, you can see the moon is traveling over all of these, and that's bringing up emotion around our institutions. It's bringing up emotion to want to fight these institutions and to change things. So it's good, but it's also always a little bit bumpy. It brings up kind of the feels when the moon connects with this little pile up of planetary energies here. And then after that, just after midday, or a bit later, asteroid Hygeia is going to conjunct the North Node. Now, Hygeia, when Hygeia, she's global health, okay, health and hygiene. And when Hygeia entered Gemini, there was a definite uptick in the airborne aspect of the pandemic, but also about what we do to keep healthy. It's been a conversation since, and Gemini's also hands. There's been a big emphasis on washing hands. There's also been a big emphasis on the breath and the words "I can't breathe" and things like that. When Hygeia hits the North Node, it kind of feels like there might be some information come through, and then Hygeia is going to go into Cancer. So I'm not quite sure how that's going to show up there, because that's another. I do wonder if we'll be back in our homes a bit more again, because, but we'll see. But anyway, she's shifting. She's going over to the North Nodes. Since February the 25th, when Mars crossed the South Node, when it was then in Capricorn, most of the planets were in this draconic bowl, it's called, in this one half of the planet, of the cosmos, all trapped by the lunar nodes. Mercury was the first to pass the nodes, then Vesta, and then Hygeia is going to go. And these, Vesta and Hygeia, have been really traveling together for quite a while. And it's kind of this focus on health and hygiene and on what we need to do to keep ourselves safe is going to be in Cancer. I think Cancer is very much about safety. And then, okay, we'll move forward a few hours. The moon will move into Aquarius at 6:53 p.m. and will approach Saturn again. So another little road bump and another little, kind of, what are we doing here, and where are we blocked from moving forward? But then when the moon passes Saturn, I kind of think it's going to be a bit freeing. We're going to kind of feel a bit lighter. It's been kind of a very stormy, heavy weekend. We had the full moon eclipse and everything's been a bit turbulent all weekend. And then it'll be time to kind of get back on to fighting for human rights and things like that, and socializing a little bit too, once the moon moves past Saturn. But before that, Pallas Athena, strategy, visionary strategist, is in this inconjunct aspect to Hygeia and those nodes. And remember, she is the strategist and can see things that others can't. She can see into the rabbit holes. This is a bit of a break-free aspect, but she's retrograde, so she's revisiting things. And this is about our future, about learning, being open to new ideas, and also it's about data, about sorting, finding. We may find some news about the virus or something, or about the response to the virus, where Pallas Athena can give us a little bit of a path forward. So to move on to into Tuesday morning, there's no more major aspects. Let me just have a look. No, I think that's all I've got to talk about. So things begin to lighten up a little bit after a dark, stormy weekend, which and through Monday it's going to still be a bit stormy, but then we'll start to move forward again. All right, much love.